Today's episode is all about preparing your heart, your mind, and your habits for an amazing new year. Hey, welcome to Growing Up Kingdom. My name's Daniel, and I'm so excited that you're here. If you've been looking for a place where you feel like you can be encouraged, where you feel like you can grow in your confidence, this is an absolutely great place to do that. So make sure that you stick around. In this episode, I wanted to talk about some ways that we can prepare for our upcoming year. We all want our new year to be better than our last year. But a lot of us, we make some plans, we make some resolutions, we decide we're going to do different things, and then nothing changes. New Year rolls around. It's January, we're all excited. February happens, March, and things kind of start slowing down. So how do we make sure that we are actually prepared for this new year? This is actually part one of a series I'm calling Clarity. It's getting clarity for our new year, our new week, whatever new thing we're starting. It's called Clarity. This is going to be part one. But we're going to start with reflection, whether we're reflecting on our new year, a new week, a new day. Here's what we're going to do. We're just going to reflect on what happened last time. So we don't want to live in the past. If you're always living in the past, it's really hard to move forward. So never take this as something saying that you should live in your past at all. That year's done, finished, finito, bye-bye. It's gone. But it's also important to be able to learn from your mistakes, learn what went well, what didn't go well. So step one would just be to reflect on your last year. What went well this year? You can write it down, you can just think about it in your mind. But what went well? Celebrate those wins. If something went really, really well, celebrate it. So often we look at everyone celebrating their wins and we're like, oh man, look at all the awesome stuff they did. But we never take the time to celebrate our own wins. If something went really well this year, celebrate it. Enjoy it. Also then reflect on what challenges did you face that year or that week, that month, whatever you're going into. I don't just want to limit this just to a year, although that's the intention. If you're starting a new month, a new week, and you're going through this clarity series because you want clarity for your week, for your month, by all means, stick around. It's not just for the year, but I'm focusing mainly on a year here. What challenges did you face this year, this time period? What could have gone better? What didn't quite work out? Write those down, think about those. And how did you work through them? In my case, I would pray about it, meditate about it, think how the Lord helped me get through certain seasons, things that might have been kind of tough maybe in that time period. And then if you want to take it a step further, you could reflect on the question, were your priorities aligned with God's purpose for your life? We all have a purpose in life. None of us are meant just to sit around and do nothing and try to figure out what we're here for. We all have a purpose in life. So the question is what you did that year, does it align with your purpose? Does it align with your life's goal? Does it? And again, this is not to make anyone feel ashamed or feel bad, like, oh man, I didn't do any of that this past year. I didn't move anywhere closer to my purpose. I didn't really have any good wins. I had a whole bunch of challenges. No. That's fine. That's fine. We're not living in the past. Again, the past is gone. Bye-bye. It's gone. We're just learning from it. A practical tip here, you guys. Write down 3 lessons from that last year. 3 lessons that you learned and how they can shape your growth, spiritual, personal, emotional, physical growth in the new year. If you're talking about a week, what happened? What did you learn this past week that you can apply to this new week? What happened last month that you can apply to this month? What happened last year that you can apply to this year? What did you learn? How did you grow? Write that down. You want to set some clear goals. This is important, you guys. Part 2 is setting some clear goals for your new year. Very often we do set goals. We call them New Year's resolutions, call them what you want to. We write goals. And then very often by the end of the year, we dig them up somewhere and we're like, ugh, I didn't really do any of these this year. Well, we don't want to do that. We've probably all done that before. I know I have, where I've made some goals and I look back at them and I'm like, oh man, I didn't do any of those. So how do we set some actual goals that will actually get done? Let's talk about that. I like to frame goals in the SMART goals framework. People do things differently, different formats work for you. I know you've probably heard about the SMART goals. What is that? S stands for specific. What exactly do you want to achieve in this goal? It has to be measurable. How will you track your progress? How will you know when you've reached your goal? How will you know when you haven't? It has to be achievable. It can't be like, what's achievable to you might not be achievable to me. Might not be achievable to me. What's achievable to me might not be achievable to you. So I'm not going to give any examples there. You know what's achievable. It has to be realistic. It's not saying that it can't be a little bit out there. I'm not saying that it can be a bit of a stretch. By all means, you should be dreaming big. You should have goals that are huge, that are bigger than you are, that you can pursue. But at the same time, you don't want to make just normal average goals that are just out there and ridiculous and you can't expect to achieve anytime soon. They have to be relevant. R in SMART stands for relevant. And time-bound, T, time-bound. You have to set a timeline. By so-and-so, I will have done this. By so-and-so, I will have done that. In another episode, I left a link for a SMART goals, kind of just an explanation what it looks like. Proverbs 16:3 reminds us to commit to the Lord whatever we do, and he will establish our plans. Habakkuk 2:2 tells us to write the vision and make it plain so that the person who reads it can run with it. It's a simple way of saying, well, the second one is write your vision down. Not only is it good for you so that you can see it and you can be reminded of it, but also so that other people can see it and they can understand that, hey, you actually have a vision for your life. You actually have a purpose for your life. And if someone else sees it, they can be like, yo, I can run with that. I see you've got a goal. I see you've got a vision. Let me take that. I can run with that. We'll go as far as you want to go. It's important to have a goal, have a vision for your upcoming year. I like making a vision board. Nothing overly spiritual, biblical about making a vision board necessarily. But you talk about writing a vision, making it plain so that people can see it and run with it. Great way to do that is make a vision board. I'm considering just making a vision board video, just breaking down how I do it. If you want to see that, leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe so you catch that. We'll see if I'll do one of those. But the point is to write the vision, make it plain, put it somewhere so that you can see it and you can be reminded of it, so it doesn't just end up in a drawer at the end of the year and you're like, I missed my goals again. We don't want to be like that. Now, of course, you will set some goals. It's very possible, and you just won't achieve them. Something might happen, something unexpected might happen, and that's fine. There are Bible verses that talk about planning almost in a vain sense where you're like, you know what? The world revolves around me. I know exactly what I'm going to do. The truth is, only the Lord knows what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. We can't plan everything because we don't know what's going to happen. And I totally understand that. But at the same time, it's important to have some goals so we have a sense of purpose for our life. Section 3. Let's talk about decluttering and organizing. Now, before you click off and you're like, oh man, I've heard this before. I don't want to have to. There's a couple of different types of organizing, a couple of different types of decluttering we're going to talk about here real quick. Number one's physical decluttering, obviously. You declutter your house, you declutter your room, you declutter your workspace, your locker. There's lots of physical stuff you can declutter. Also, I don't know if you ever thought about this. It's also clever every once in a while to declutter your digital space. At the end of the year, might be about time to go through your computer, delete all the files you don't need, all the stuff you downloaded that you used once and you'll never use it again. Might be time to delete and get rid of those. I hit the microphone. I apologize. I apologize for my poor little microphone. Anyways, yeah, it would be important just to delete those, get those out of the way, your phone. Some of us, we live with our phones perpetually full. It's like, I'm gonna take a video. Ah, man, out of storage space. And your friends are like, that's honestly no surprise, bro. Like, your phone's almost always out of storage space. You know someone like that? Are you that sort of person? I don't know. But I think we know what it's like to have all of our digital devices cluttered up. Maybe take some time to declutter those, empty those out. I'm not saying you have to wipe them clean, but just organize them a little bit. You can donate, discard anything that doesn't serve a purpose anymore. Throw it out, get rid of it. There's mental decluttering too. So number 2 is mental decluttering. You can journal your thoughts, release your burdens through prayer. If you've got something going on, you're like, man, my mental space is filled up. It might be time to do some mental decluttering. Take some time to focus on what really, really matters instead of all the distractions, because we've constantly got stuff yelling at us all the time. Take some time just to get quiet and just focus on the Lord's plan for your life and just meditate on His goodness and get clear in your mental state. There's spiritual decluttering too. You can spend some quiet time with the Lord. Talk about anything that might be hindering your relationship with Him. I know sometimes, I'll pray and I'll just be like, you know what? I've been so busy. I haven't really prayed. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'll come back to the Father and just be like, you know what? That's some spiritual decluttering here. We're just going to get clear. Psalm 51:10 says, create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit in me. We want to come back to the Lord and have Him renew a steadfast spirit in us, because if we go our own ways constantly, all the time, obviously at some point, our minds are going to get filled up. Our emotions are going to get filled up with things that may not necessarily be of the Lord. So section 4, let's talk about this. Building a routine for success. We talk about clarity, talk about a series about clarity. Let's talk about building a routine for success. The way my morning routine goes is the first thing I do is I spend time in the Lord's presence. Now, hey, everyone's different. You have different priorities. You have different goals. We're in this together. I'm not saying this is what you have to do. This would be my morning routine. My first thing I do is I start my day in the presence of the Lord. I'm reading my Bible. The way I do it is I'm determined to get through the Bible in a year. I do it every couple years, maybe do it 1 year, take a break another. Anyways, but every morning I start my day there. Before I get out of bed, I like to start my day with prayer. Even before I get up out of bed, I'm praying, okay, Lord, this is going to be a good day. You show me how I can use this day to your glory, how I can change lives today, how I can impact people for your glory. That's what I'm praying even before I get out of bed. As soon as I get out of bed, I sit down with my Bible and I go straight to my word. That's my morning routine. It's essential to have something grounding. If you're not reading your Bible, that's fine. I would recommend you do. If you don't, though, get yourself a morning routine. Get yourself a solid morning routine. Maybe do certain things at a certain time just for a routine. You get up, get yourself your coffee first thing in the morning if you're a coffee guy. I personally am more of a tea guy, but if you want coffee, get up, get yourself a cup of coffee, do something just so you have a routine. And at night too, get yourself a night routine. Before you go to sleep, get yourself a routine. I like to end my day with gratitude and reflection. If I'm laying down in bed, I know some people will love to journal this out. If you're the sort of journaling type, I really should get into journaling it. But when I lay down in bed, I think about all the things that went so well that day. I think about what went well. And I'll reflect on things that maybe didn't do well, that I can do better tomorrow, that I can improve on. You have to think about 3 things that you're grateful for, and even think about tomorrow's goals. Before I go to sleep, I know some people get woken up like, oh, I got to do all this stuff. But I personally like to, before I go to sleep, think about what I have to get done tomorrow. So when I get up, I know exactly what I need to do. Consistency is key. Little habits every once in a while, you can stack them. And it's way more productive than just maybe trying to learn one big habit right away. Start with a couple small habits, build yourself a routine, and get comfortable in that. Section 5, invest in yourself. Learn something new. Expand your skills, your hobbies. Learn something. Increase your knowledge in some way. Take care of your body. Get healthy. Exercise this upcoming year. Exercise. Get in shape. Learn something new. Dedicate some time to learning something new. Every summer, I set out to learn something new, whether that's playing the guitar, whether that's playing chess, different things. I will learn, dedicate certain times to learning different skills. Maybe try that this year. Find yourself a community. Surround yourself with supportive, faith-filled people. People who will encourage you rather than tear you down all the time. And trust the Lord's plan. The Lord has such an amazing plan for your life that you need to realize He loves you so much. Maybe you've never heard someone say that to you, like, someone actually loves you. God loves you. It's such a statement everyone uses just so it's almost cliche at this point, but God really does love you and he has good things planned for you. So if you sit in his presence and you wait and you want to learn from him and see what he's got planned for you, it's amazing. Pray for guidance. James 1:5 says, if any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God who gives generously to all without finding fault and it will be given unto you. So this upcoming year, it's not just a new year, this upcoming week, this upcoming month, it is just a new year, a new week, new month, but it's an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to serve other people. It's an opportunity to start over and start from almost scratch. It's a new year, start new. It's a new week, start new. It's a new month, start new and just go for it. I hope this has encouraged you in some way. This was part 1 of a series we're calling Clarity. If it did help you at all, make sure you like, subscribe if you want to see more encouraging faith-building content. If you think this could be helpful for anyone, make sure to share it with them. And if you've had any thoughts on this episode, make sure to leave a comment down below. I'd absolutely love to read it. Let me know what your goals are for this upcoming year. I'd love to see them. I'd love to pray for you. But that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, do whatever you can on the platform you're listening, and I will catch you in the next episode. Bye.